Hi Caroline, it was really lovely to get to speak with you this week and to find out a little bit more about your launch plans and your business in general. So going through the notes that I made from our session, I've pulled together your initial launch brand materials. So we're focusing here on the colours, the fonts and the logo mark for your launch brand, as well as the kind of image style that we'll go on to use in those big 5 launch design templates for you. So, pulling out some of the key themes from when we were talking, there was a lot around this idea of making kind of the big picture made easy when it comes to marketing. So looking at everything and then really kind of deconstructing it down so that it becomes real easy, simple, almost lines to follow, which leads quite nicely into the idea of stripes that I know that you mentioned that you're really keen on, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So some more of the key themes were really around no jargon, being really simple, effective marketing and making it actually happen. So those are the styles and ideas that I've based this design concept for you on, using the 3 kind of core words of action, trust and simple. So boiling down all of those key things down to those 3 core words, which is what I've researched colours for you, and this is how we will base the starting point of your brand identity. So for your base colours, we're looking at blues and reds and yellows and greens. Now, they're quite varied in colours, and I'll go into a little bit more of the details of the specific colours when we get into your brand, your specific brand colours. But as an overview, these core colours are very much suited to your brand based on those kind of psychological connections that we all make with colour. So blue is very much associated as the colour of trust and dependability and reliability. It's a kind of responsible, calming, connective communication colour. That's where you'll see it in a lot of kind of corporate brands. They tend to use blue, but that doesn't have to be a negative thing. So the next colour being red. Now red is a very powerful, attention-getting and action-taking colour, which is why you will see a lot of kind of the big brands, think of people like Virgin and Coca-Cola and stuff like that. They use red because it is such a powerful, strong, emotive, attention-grabbing colour, which really fits quite well with the attention that you need when you are working in marketing. So it's a good colour for your brand. Now the other 2 colours are yellow and green. Now I suggest yellow because yellow is an inspirational kind of confidence building colour, and green is also a colour mostly associated with kind of growth. Now you may think that in the kind of health industry it seems to be overused, but actually it's very much becoming the associated colour with kind of wealth, the wealth growth, so growing your business, and if you are growing financially, green is such a very well associated colour with money. So those are the core base colours. Now how we can interpret these, there's many ways, but the kind of 2 basic things to always remember when looking at colours is that the kind of muted, more subtle tones of colours are generally more associated with higher level priced offerings, or higher level offerings in that you want people to see them as more of a kind of an exclusive high level positioned in the marketplace, whereas bright vivid colours, really kind of quite almost shocking colours, are usually associated with the lower end budget side of things. So I always use kind of Asda and Waitrose as a really good example here for our supermarkets because they're both green, but Waitrose is very much more of an olive, deeper dark green, and it's associated with the high level end of the market. Asda is more of a bright acid vivid green and is very much associated with the lower end of the market. So it's a kind of perfect example for showing those styles of the colour. So keeping that in mind, I've now explored your base colours, those 4 base colours, the blue, red, yellow and green, and taken them into your core brand colour palette. So as you can see here, I've pulled out 3 core brand colours for you, basing these on the blue and the red. So the blue and the red being the trust, dependability, responsible, and the powerful attention getting kind of action taking colours. And then your secondary brand colours, that's where we start to bring in the yellows and the greens. And it's also useful to have some shades of grey and black and white in your brand as well to use. So these are the main colours that I would recommend for your brand. I've given you the CMYK colour splits there, as well as the hex reference. If it's a little bit blurry on screen, don't worry too much. I will also send you a copy of this PDF so that you'll have all of this to flick through and reference time and time again every time that you launch. So next up, we're moving into your brand fonts. Now, in a similar way to colours, different fonts have very different meanings, and we associate different fonts with different feelings depending on who your perfect customers are. The fonts will change and the font meanings will change depending on who they are and how they interpret these. So that's why we dig into that information during our kind of Kickstarter session, so I can get a really good idea of who we're talking to here. So for your brand fonts, we're looking for something that's really simple and clear. So that's why we've gone for a sans serif font that comes in a bold and a light option, but it isn't one of your standard kind of, it isn't a boring font when it's in bold and it's in caps. It's very straight lined, but when you see it used in the body copy, you can actually see it's got a bit of a kind of curve to it, and there's some interesting characters like the G and things like that in there, which just give that little bit of a quirky edge to the font. And then, of course, it's really good practice to have a kind of hand font within your font library that you can use very sparingly throughout your brand. So it's not something that you want to use everywhere, but sometimes it's really nice just to add that kind of feel of the personal touch into what you're creating by having this kind of hand font. So I'm recommending here the Dreamy Script. Now these fonts, most of these fonts are available on most of the free kind of font websites for you to be able to download. If not, you can also get them for a very low cost. So depending if you can find them on a reputable free site and you're happy to download them for free, then do that. If not, I can more than happy send you some links to some paid font libraries where you can make sure that you've got the license to be able to use these fonts. Okay, so moving into the kind of meat of your launch brand. Bringing together your colours and your fonts to create a launch brand logo mark for you. So this is what I am suggesting. Now we're using the simple fonts here, so we're using the Nexa font stacked together with your Marketing Mastermind as the main title. And I've created for you an icon mark based on the double M's. So it's very clean and it's very structured, and it starts to bring in these line shapes that I know you said you were keen on stripes, so we will start to introduce maybe a few stripes in a minute, but for now it's based on that real geometric style. So it's clean, there's clean lines, it's sharp lines, it's quite masculine in its nature, but we can also add in some of the colour palettes to the logo mark and the script font to be able to give that softer side to things. So this is just a version in black and white for you, and I've created a secondary version with the club reference on the end. I wasn't sure exactly if you were going with Marketing Mastermind or Marketing Mastermind Club, so I've created both options here for you to look at. Now introducing colour, you can see how it kind of tweaks and changes once we start to introduce the core colours to the logo mark, and again created that variation of the logo mark for you here with your colours. Now all of these I will supply to you as ready to use JPEGs and PNGs and EPS file, so that you will have the logo mark to be able to drag and drop into all of your documents, so you don't have to worry about trying to cut it out from this PDF. It'll also already be on the templates that we create for you, so they'll be there, easy for you to move around and use. And then finally going into some icon marks for you. So as you see, I created this double M, so we can start to use that throughout your launch branding to start to really make a mark on what you're launching, so that people know that this is part of your branding for this particular launch, rather than having to always have the full launch name or the full logo mark in sight. you can start to use this icon mark. It makes a lovely little bullet point, or it makes a lovely line break throughout your website, something to really distinguish each of the modules that you're doing, and also when you're sharing on social media, rather than having to plaster your course name everywhere, you can just start to use this little icon. So it's a really nice little tool to have within your launch brand graphics to be able to get that message out there, but in a little bit more of a subtle way without always shouting your course name. And then into the visual design part of your branding. So this is where, again, we pull everything together and we start to look at possible design layouts and styles that we will use for your templates. So this is for how we can create your web headers or any of the social media share graphics, or how we'll start to pull things together for your sales page and your PDF opt-in and everything else that you need that goes into your launch. So the key elements here in the visual design style, we've got the stripes, and I know that you were really keen on the stripes, but they also really play quite well into your brand core values, so I've added these in for you. Now on the left hand side, this is a kind of contour map. Now I've chosen this because it's a simplified map of the land, which played, I felt, very well into the idea of taking the big picture and making it easy. So effectively you're using a big picture of the land and you're really stripping it down into these contour lines. So I thought that had a real strong visual message that tied into the real key themes of what your launch is all about. So these are kind of the two element styles that we will tie together and bring into your marketing design. And just to give you an example, we can start to lay those over the top of each other to make an interesting background. And then this is how it could look for, say, a sales page header or a Facebook header, or anywhere that you need to use this kind of header image using the logo mark and the background design style. And again, quickly and easily updating that to become, say, a sales page header, or that could be a Facebook page header, which could link through to your sales page or your opt-in. Obviously you can change and edit all of the copy when we put this together into your templates for you. And really it's just the design style and layout that we're looking at here, with the images in the background and the way that the text and the colours all work together. So again, a couple of little examples of how we could use this design style to create your promotional graphics. These could be used on Facebook, or they could be used in social media, or they could be buttons on your web page, they could go on your sales page, they could go absolutely really anywhere that you wish them to. So that is a bit of an overview of your launch brand design style for the Marketing Mastermind Club, and I look forward to hearing back from you with any comments that you may have at this stage. And if you're more than happy for me to go ahead, I will start to convert this brand style into those top 5 design templates for you. So if you do have any content ready to go for those top 5 design templates that you want to whiz over to me, and I can use that in the templates for you, then please do just pop them over on email. If not, I'll use placeholder text for now, and as these will all be editable templates for you, you'll be able to go in and easily change all of the copy to make it whatever you need. So I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thanks.